Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you tuning in to Bush League Bushcraft, where basically I fudge my way through whatever I see online and hope it works out all right. Today, what I'm going to do is just show how to set up a very temporary shelter. We're actually forecast to get a little bit of rain. We'll see how much we actually get. Where I live in Boston, we've basically been raining something like 16 out of the last 18 weeks, specifically on Saturday, which is today. So I figured, why not? If I get caught in a rainstorm, I'll only prove out the concept. And if I don't, I'm not going to complain about staying dry. What I have with me, and all that I have with me right now, is a 50-foot extension of cord that I bought at REI. It was like $5.95 for the pack. And this one happens to be a 6x8 tarp. This is not a heavy duty. You're not going to do construction with this. It's very lightweight. It actually specifically says it's outdoors products. That's the brand. And basically what it does is just create enough of a barrier to prevent rain from falling on you and or your fire. I'm going to do a ridge line or a top line. Basically, I found two trees that are probably about the right distance, maybe a little bit too far out. We'll see. I did not prep the ground in any way. Normally in this situation you would, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to. And basically I'm going to tie from one side to the other side and then put the tent over that top line. There's another video that I'm going to show you in a little bit that we're not going to do a top line. We're going to basically use posts and rig so that you don't actually need a top line in the event that you don't have two trees that are a nice distance. Now, you're going to watch me fumble with the rope for a little bit. I did buy 50 feet, and that is way too much for what I need right here. But I figured, why not rather start from the very beginning and then have a video about how to cut and seal paracord. So I figured it'd be a good chance to show you a couple different things. Now, hopefully I didn't get this all bungled up when I wrapped it up. I probably did. I'll fast forward when I get to this part. All right, finally get that done. Please drop in the comments tips and tricks. I obviously didn't do a very good job tying that right. There's got to be a tip. There's got to be a trick that you can drop my way. Let me get better at that. As you saw, that was pretty much a very unnecessary thing for me to have to do, especially if you think about it. It was raining. I was in some sort of dire situation. Taking a couple minutes to fumble through all of my knotting and the pulled up cord. It's just time you don't have in that kind of situation. Thankfully, it's just an easy Saturday, and I'm basically doing nothing other than filming this video for you great folks, which, by the way, I want to remind you, I really appreciate your support. Obviously, I don't really know what I'm doing, so I appreciate you on this journey with me. I'm actually going to start at this side. Normally, I would have this rope packed up nicely and neatly, like you all probably would. So just disregard this stepping over stuff. I know that's probably not the best approach, but, you know, here we are. So anyway, I'm going to tie a bowline knot. Link down below for how to do those. I'm not going to do a tutorial. I'm not going to do a zoom in on this video. Future videos where it might be a little bit trickier, I will, but I'm going to use all standard knots. I'm going to do a bowline across this side, and just for those, I call it bowline. I just called it bowline in case you weren't sure, but it's B-O-W-L-I-N-E. Whether or not you call it bowline or bowline, I've heard it both ways. I don't really care either way. I don't know how it's pronounced correctly. So again, drop that in the link. I'll drop a link if you can drop it in the comments which way I should be pronouncing it for you. And then I'm going to tie around this side. I'm going to put a trucker's hitch on this side, and then I'm going to pull it back and just do a simple slip knot on the other side. That's what's going to be my ridge line. And there's going to be other ways to do this. I'll show other ways in future videos, but for now, that's going to be the setup. So I'm going to start on this side. And again, I would have had all this cleared. Whether or not you go left or right doesn't matter. I'm just going to follow it around. We'll grab that. And yes, I could probably tighten this up a little bit in terms of how much room I'm going to give, but we're going to go. Let's see if I can do this. I'm doing my backward loop. So, you know, my top line is over on top. I'm going to go underneath into the hole, down around this rope, and back through. And I'm going to cinch it So it catches. I see the familiar U shape. I don't know if I get a zoom in there, but basically that's now my bowline knot. Just kidding. It's not. I'm going to go ahead and try this again. And this is why you practice, people. Going to do my 9. Now I'm going to try going under and around and through. Now I'm going to cinch it down. That looks much better because I actually tied it the wrong way. So whether or not you go over or under, as you could tell, makes a huge difference. I'm going to pass this off as I was just kidding around to show you that difference, even though we all know that that's not what happened. So this is a little bit loose, and I did that on purpose so I can navigate it up against the tree. You can see I'm pulling, I'm leaning on that. That's plenty strong. I'm going to go underneath my rope. Now, some people have actually gone back and forth between, and this is why you don't leave it lying around, by the way. There are some people who say it's best approach to cross the lines. Some people say don't cross the line in terms of, making it kind of like a figure 8 between the trees. I'm just going to go with what I remember from the little class that I did, and hopefully this works out. Again, I have way too much slack here. This is not good. But I'm going to walk around the tree. I don't know if you'll see me. All right. Now I'm on the other side. Hi, it's me again. Weather's different over here. I'm going to put my rope down here. Now, the problem is you're going to have difficulty getting any kind of tension with most of the knots that you're going to be able to tighten. Now, this is a little bit low. I do this a little bit higher, but I want to be in frame. What I'm going to do is a trucker hitch. So you do a loop. You do 3 rotations, which I've seen. Different people have different opinions. And then I pinch the back half. Some people pinch the front half. Drop in the comments which you think is the quote-unquote better way to go, right? And now I have my loop. And the whole idea is that this thing shouldn't really be moving. So I'm going to go back, try that again. 2, 3, and I'm going to grab the front end because that is actually the correct way. I'm going to pretend like I know what I'm doing. But hey, this is how you live, you learn, right? You try it, it doesn't work. You try it again, it does work. Now this loop, I don't want to let go of, right? Now I have a nice little loop that I can feed this rope through. And the whole reason I want to do this, aside from my love of pulling rope through loops, whoo, note to self, cut that, is now when I pull, it's actually pulling against this part of the rope. So when I pull backwards here, you'll see it gets much tighter, right? So again, I'll let go. You can see how loose it is. And I feel the drops come in. So I probably should move this along, right? And then I pull, and there it is. Now, to cinch this off, I'm going to pinch. All I'm going to do is a simple slip knot. So I'm basically going to bring this through, make a loop, bring it back up, and pull, right? And that's going to be enough to keep this nice and cinched, right? Still nice and taut. And then if I need to move this, get it, tighten it, or get going, I just pull this down and it's a regular slip knot, right? So this loop will just come right through. So I'll show you. And now I'm back and I can drop that down. Or if I realize, you know what, that's just not tight enough, I can come back, give it a little more goomph, pinch right here. Again, bring the loop. The rope's a little bit long, so it's sliding all over the place. And then just pull, and you're good. I'm sure someone's going to say, but you didn't do that, or you didn't do that, and that's fine. Drop it in the comments. I'll see. Now, this rope is way too long, and I have way too much left. By the way, if you can hear that background noise, it's raining now. So we have limited time. Now that I've got my ridge line on my top line, I'm going to open up my tarp, right? Now this is a 6x8. This thing is super light. It's way lighter than the other ones that I have for yard work. Sorry if it's crinkling. But now you can choose what you want to do. I can go over, because it's 6 by 8, it's not actually a full square, it's a rectangle, which means one side's longer. So depending on what you want to do, you want to either put it, you know, shortwise or lengthwise. Now, if I wanted an actual tent, I'd probably do this a little bit lower so I could actually, you know, have full sides covered. For me, I was just going to play around, and if you can see me, basically come down and anchor the back. So I want this a little bit lopsided. And then basically anchor this side down, so the whole back is going to be a rain shield. Very helpful at this moment. I don't have tent stakes, so I'll just find something. And, you know, at this point, I'd probably shave those up with my knife, put a little anchor hook, maybe wrap some rope. But for now, just for demonstration purposes, don't need to. So now here on this side, I'd get this basically staked in. I'm not gonna. And then I have something to do with this side, right? Now, I've got some other trees around. I would normally have other cord. I could actually go ahead and cut that and use that. And then you can do, you know, through the grommet or whatever it's called. I can't remember. Drop that, correct me. And you could tie it over here. And now you would have basically a little shelter like that. Again, if you wanted to, you could bring all of this lower, which I can do very easily. Watch this, right? My hitch. I can realize the situation that I'm in. Drop this down, right? Now with all the slack, because I tied a pretty loose bowline down here, I can very easily move this down, right? Now I can trailer hitch it back up, and I'm gonna just walk around the tree real quick. Right? Pull it tight. It's nice and taut. Do my pinch. Pull in my knot. And there we go. Okay? So now I have a better tent. Right? And now I can actually get stakes on either side. Right? And now what this is going to do is it's going to make the typical tent shape. Now you can't see it, but it's literally a tent. So I'd have other sides in here. Now, I was very poorly prepared for this video in that I didn't think it was going to start downpouring. But if you listen, you can hear the pitter-patter of rain. Right? So it's working. What I'm going to do is try to grab this, actually stake it in a little bit. What you don't see is that there's actually a giant dip down below here. Again, this is not a permanent feature. This is not something I would spend weeks in. This is something that I would do pretty much in a situation like this. Just got caught out in the rain. What I like, try to find sticks. I don't know if you can really see this, but with little downward facing branches and things like that. Yeah, I'm being, oh, that's not going to fit. So I'll break that out. Then basically make it taut where you can. Remember, you want to give yourself some room to get in there. And, oops, we'll get rid of that. That's going to be tough sticking in. Bring that down. And then I can crawl right in. If I needed to, tuck myself in. Good night. Yay. But I'm not going to. I'm going to come right back up. Now, let's just pretend that I spent the extra time, made it a little bit prettier, got a pad in between the ground and myself, got everything actually stretched out so it was more room inside, maybe even had this up a little bit. It all depends on what you want to do. I'm ready to break down. I come out, I remove my 4 little anchors, I duck under. You can't see what I'm doing. I give you a hint, it's magic, when in reality, I'm just getting rid of the sticks that are holding my tent stake down. All right, now, here's a trick that I saw. Just grab the 2 edges, and now it's ready to fold. And I'm certain someone has ideas on whether or not I'm folding this the right way. So, by all means, put them down in the comments. Let me know what's a better way. Do you tuck and roll? Do you do angles, triangles, whatever you want? Now, I don't want to leave this just sitting out here. Watch how easy this is. Pull down. That part's now done. Okay? Once I get this out, don't worry, it'll take a good 6 or 7 hours now. That's why you don't want long rope. It gets loops, and then branches get stuck. Sticks get stuck. It's not easy to say. You try it. Sticks will get stuck in the loops and cause a giant mess, and probably worsen the knots. But that's why you want to keep things clean. That's why you don't want to have too much rope than you need. All right, now all I have to do is pull that, and that's out, right? Because it was just a couple loops pulled in on itself. Now for the bowline knot, the end that you have with the little loop, you just pull the loop down, and then that opens everything up. And now everything is easy peasy, lemon breezy. All right. Hope that was enjoyable. If nothing else, watch me get my knots wrong a few times. And a tent that's too small, not properly secured. You get the idea, and that's what I'm going for. Concept, right? This isn't real world where I have to rely on this. This is just, I'm having fun. That is literally the first time I've done that. So I appreciate you being around the journey with me. Your YouTube, you know what to do. We'll see you on the next one.